While world leaders prepare to gather in Johannesburg for one of the biggest geopolitical events of the year, an unexpected silence is spreading across the G20. It's the kind of silence that doesn't come often in global politics, a silence created by the one man who normally overshadows every room he walks into. Donald Trump isn't coming. No American delegation. No last-minute drama. No attention-grabbing press conference. For the first time in years, the G20 summit is moving forward without the gravitational pull of the United States. And strangely, this is exactly what Canada needed. Because while the world is confused, irritated, or surprised by Trump's boycott, Mark Carney is quietly stepping into the biggest diplomatic opening of his career. He knows this moment is rare. When the US steps back, power doesn't disappear, it shifts. And Carney is ready to catch every ounce of it. As Trump calls the South Africa-hosted summit a total disgrace and refuses to send even a single senior official, the global stage becomes dramatically quieter and strategically more accessible. For years, leaders have been forced to work around Trump's unpredictability, constantly adjusting plans to react to whatever controversy he ignited. But this time, instead of world leaders lining up to capture Trump's attention, they finally have space, real, uninterrupted space, to talk to someone else. Someone steady. Someone serious. Someone with a plan. That someone is Mark Carney. Carney steps into Johannesburg with one mission, to push Canada out of America's shadow and into the center of a new global trade map. Chronic US tariffs have strangled Canadian sectors. Washington's political chaos has frozen investment. And Canada's latest budget makes it painfully clear that the country must double its non-US exports in the next decade if it wants long-term stability. But today, for the first time, Canada doesn't have to navigate around Trump's presence. It gets to move forward without waiting for America's permission. A senior Canadian official has already confirmed that Carney's agenda is loaded with high-stakes, high-impact meetings, the kind that could reshape economic alliances for the next generation. One of the most important, Qatar. A country with the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, a financial giant capable of injecting billions into Canada's energy sector, clean tech economy, and national infrastructure. One positive outcome from that meeting alone could do what years of US cooperation never achieved, real, long-term financial independence. But Carney knows trade isn't just about money. It's about alliances. Networks. Influence. And without the US in the room, conversations around the CPTPP, a massive Indo-Pacific trade pact, suddenly feel wide open. The deal was once shaped heavily by American interests, before Trump pulled out in 2017. Now, with him absent again, Carney is pushing Europe to take a more active role. He's leveraging this unique moment to rebalance the deal in Canada's favor, turning Washington's retreat into Ottawa's advantage. Critical minerals, however, remain the centerpiece of Carney's strategy. As demand for lithium, nickel, cobalt, and rare earth metals skyrockets across the world, Canada holds one of the most valuable resource baskets of the 21st century. But America has been slow, inconsistent, and distracted, leaving other global powers eager to step in. Europe knows it needs stable suppliers. Asia knows it cannot rely on China alone. And now, with Trump's absence creating oxygen in the room, Carney finally gets uninterrupted time to pitch Canada as the reliable, steady, democratic source the world has been waiting for. But if the trade front is opening up, the diplomatic front is far more complicated, especially when it comes to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to attend the summit, and despite the political tension between Canada and India, including the explosive allegations involving the Nijar case, Carney understands a harsh truth: the global system is broken, and Canada cannot afford to only work with nations it agrees with completely. Engagement is not optional. It is essential. A senior official revealed that Carney's approach is clear-eyed, meaning he's not ignoring the challenges, he's working around them. If Carney and Modi meet, it could begin resetting a relationship that collapsed over the last 2 years. It could even lead to a Carney visit to India, something that would have been unthinkable just months ago. But even as Carney navigates this delicate diplomatic terrain, another reality hangs over the summit. Trump's absence sends shockwaves through American allies. His refusal to attend, his refusal to send senior officials, and his public rants about South Africa's government raise a critical question for the rest of the world: can the U.S. be relied on? With only a low-ranking diplomat representing Washington, America's leadership feels weaker, fragmented, and inconsistent. And in that vacuum, Canada suddenly finds itself stepping up, not because it wants to replace the U.S., but because someone has to stabilize the table the Americans walked away from. Experts say the same thing: with Trump gone, Carney becomes the most focused voice in the room. Roland Paris, a former senior advisor on foreign affairs, said the absence of the United States removes the largest center of attention from the summit. Without leaders trying to get in front of Trump, Carney gets one-on-one access to nearly every major country: Germany, France, the EU, the UK, South Korea, Mexico, Indonesia, and more. In normal times, these meetings would take months. At this summit, Carney gets them all in one place. One trip. One opportunity. A diplomatic one-stop shop, just as Paris put it. Every handshake becomes a negotiation. Every conversation becomes a potential deal. Every moment becomes a chance to push Canada into the strongest position it has held in decades. This isn't just an economic mission. It's a turning point in Canada's global identity. For years, Canada has been stuck reacting to U.S. decisions, waiting for Washington to act, adjusting policies around American chaos, and suffering under unpredictable tariffs. But today, something historic is happening. Trump's boycott has removed America from the center of the world stage, and into that empty space steps a leader who understands global finance, international cooperation, and long-term strategy better than almost anyone alive. Mark Carney isn't just attending a summit. He is rewriting Canada's role in the world. Quietly. Strategically. Relentlessly. If he secures investment from Qatar, if he strengthens Canada's position in the CPTPP, if he advances mineral partnerships with Europe and Asia, if he begins rebuilding ties with India, then Canada will emerge from this summit with something it has never truly had before: independence from American uncertainty. A future built on Canadian decisions. Canadian alliances. Canadian leverage. And all of it becomes possible because Trump stayed home. This is Canada's moment. Carney knows it. The world knows it. And as the summit begins, one thing is clear: Canada is not just ready to fill the void, it is ready to capitalize on it.